Hola, es su maestro favorito. How's it going, boys and girls? So this is going to be our second day of clouds. This right here should look very familiar to you. I'm going to do a really quick recap of what we did yesterday, just in case some of you guys are a little lost. Remember, we had 3 words. Watch this sucker not work today. Oh, it actually does. You guys know how much I love this smart board. I know you remember that. So remember this lower level down here for clouds, they're all going to contain the word strata, something along those lines. For the middle layer, the sandwich, the meat of the sandwich, we're going to call this layer, all of these clouds start with alto or have alto composed in them somewhere. And then for this upper area, this is going to be cirra, C-I-R-R-A. So the clouds up here either contain cirrus, cirro, somewhere along those lines. Okay? So that's a quick recap. These 3 levels of clouds. Okay? So we're going to start with the bottom level today. We got 2 clouds we're going to talk about. Okay? So real quickly, let me get this erased. Alright, there's a cool little picture. Alright, so this right here we're going to talk about is a stratus cloud. Now, if you see this right here, you can see the clouds, you can see the trees right there in the land. Okay, so stratus clouds are very low. Okay, they're that 0 to 6,000 feet. All right, so they are a low level cloud. They're on the lowest level. They're the closest to us. All right. Now, this next thing I'm going to say means it goes all over. Okay. So this next little tidbit is going to be they are uniform gray in color. And that means that they're pretty much all gray and they go across the entire sky. There is no sunlight between these clouds, so they cover the entire sky. And not all clouds do that, okay? So they cover the entire sky. There is no sun leaking through, okay? So this uniform gray, and I told you yesterday that some of these clouds you can kind of predict the weather. Well, obviously, if you see clouds over you could say, well, there's a chance of rain. Obviously, you know, clouds contain rain. When it's a blue sky outside, you're not expecting rain necessarily. So when there are clouds over, you know that they can and more than likely do contain rain most of the time. But when you have a stratus cloud over, you can expect one of 2 things, okay? You can expect rain or snow. Obviously, depending on the season, snow's not going to fall in the summer. You guys know that. Rain or snow for a few days. Okay? Now, we all know that some weather is more intense than others. You know, if you got a massive thunderstorm going over you or a hurricane, this rain can be very, very intense and fall at a great rate of speed. Okay? And it can flood very quickly. Well, with the stratus cloud, it's a little different. Stratus cloud rain is more of like a trickle. It's like a drizzle. So it's a very slow falling rain or slow falling snow. So you don't really have to worry about necessarily flooding. What you need to worry about is getting kind of bummed out from not seeing the sun for a few days, because they generally last quite a few days. Okay? Now, the next thing, let me go get this phone real quick, Jordan. I am so sorry. The next one we're going to talk, well, let me show you these pictures real quick. So as you can see, this stratus cloud, there is no difference in the color. Let's look at this next one. Okay, so here's another stratus cloud. This looks very, very similar to what we might see in the summer. You just see this haze all over the place, and that's a lot of water vapor. It's a lot of humidity Now it's hard for me to tell if this is a hot day or a cold day, wherever this is. I'm not sure where this is. It looks like somewhere in Europe. But this is definitely a stratus cloud. Do you see any sunlight coming out from behind those clouds? No. So this is going to be a very, very stratus cloud day. Okay, and this is the last one that's going to probably blow your mind. Now, since we're the lowest, we are on the ground, and the stratus clouds form from 0 to 6,000 feet up into the atmosphere, which is a little over a mile. We also could say that this is a stratus cloud. And what is this right here, children? This is fog. And I know all of you have seen fog. Well, check this out. Fog is a stratus cloud trapped on the ground. All right. Pretty cool, right? So, I mean, all these little water droplets of fog are nothing but a stratus cloud. So if you've walked through fog before, you've basically walked through a cloud, which is pretty cool. And I know that most of you that have walked through fog before, you can feel the water vapor on your skin when you go through, and it feels very, very cool to the touch. So that's what clouds feel like, is they have a very cooling sensation to them, just like fog, because fog is a cloud. Now, the next lower level cloud we're going to talk about today is just like a stratus cloud in a lot of ways, but we're going to call these nimbostratus, okay? Now, nimbostratus are almost identical to stratus clouds. There's a couple of differences, and they're not that many. As you can see from this picture right here, they cover the entire sky, just like a stratus cloud, okay? So it covers the entire sky, okay? Covers the entire sky. Now here's some differences, okay? They're still very low, just like the stratus, but these are the differences. There's a couple of them. Now if you look at this picture on the stratus cloud, let's go back and look at that real quick. You can see that there is just uniform gray. It's one just gray color. Now if you go and you look at the nimbostratus cloud, these have a little bit of a jagged edge on them. And you can see these jagged edges all over the cloud. So they have more of a jagged edge to them, all right? Now with this jagged edge, there's also a difference in the type of weather they kind of produce. They still produce days of rain and snow, but these are a more intense cloud. They're way more intense than a stratus cloud over you. They drop a lot of rain, and they do it in a quick manner, okay, over a 2 to 3 day period. So there is a possibility with some flooding with these nimbostratus clouds because they're a little bit more intense. So more intense than a stratus cloud. Okay? Now this is not the most intense cloud we're going to go over. This is just one of the intense clouds. You're probably not going to get any thunder and lightning with this nimbostratus. I guess a small amount of thunder and lightning would be possible, but these are just going to produce a heavier rain or a heavier snow than the stratus cloud, okay? So definitely some differences, but definitely some similarities, okay? This is another nimbostratus. You can see this one a little better. You can see the green trees and the rolling hill, and you can see the jagged edges of this cloud all over the place. So not a uniform gray, one gray color. And here's another one. This is another one, another nimbostratus. So you can see those jagged edges. That light to dark. So that's another nimbostratus. So those are two lower level clouds. Some of them, both of them are very similar, but there are some differences in them. So I'm going to give you a Google Doc, try to see if you can figure this out, and then the next lesson is going to be on a very, very different leveled cloud. All right, I'm gonna save the best, my favorite clouds for last. But go ahead and finish the Google Doc, and I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow, okay? Sorry about the phone call.